How's it going, YouTube? This is Skull, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program Science Mode, Episode 8, and, well, as you can see, I'm in the spaceplane hangar, or not, wow, this is the vehicle assembly building, wow. I've got all these different things over here, and what I'm going to do is I am going to build a ship specifically for this brand new piece of science technology that we just got, the barometer. Now, this is going to be a bit of a pain, I think, because all of the biomes, all of the places that we've already visited, we have to visit all over again to get information from the barometer. But there is something that we can do to help make this a little more fun. What we can do is we can just put a little planetary probe as our starting thing. And as you can see, this does not require a crew. So we have a probe. Now we need a probe body. So we need a command and control. Well, actually, this is the probe body. What am I talking about? Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to... This is basically going to go into space and not come back. We're just going to go to all of these different places, transmit the data back, get as much information as possible from the barometer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... fuel tanks. That's a fuselage. No, I need an actual tank. That's too big. Of course it's too big. Hold on. There we go. This is good. Okay, now we need a tank and an engine. Once I get nuclear engines, this whole thing will be a whole lot easier, but until that happens, I basically have to make this my actual spacecraft. Now, do I have any RCS? No, I don't. I don't have any RCS fuel tanks, so I'm going to need to just leave it as it is. What I can do is put a few stabilizers inside here to hopefully help this thing rotate a little faster. Let's see, small inclination wheel right there. No, there. Alright. So this is the spacecraft that is going to be going from place to place. And you're wondering where I'm going to put the barometer. Well, luckily the barometer you can just stick on the side there. And then got to put the antenna. I'm going to put it as close to the center at the top here as possible. That should do. That's close enough. Okay, so we have this. Let's not forget batteries and solar panels, of course. Really, I should just put a science... You know what, I'm going to put a science junior in there. Utility. A service bay, that's what I meant. Just going to put a service bay in here. So, yeah, there we go. So, let's go ahead and open this up. Put the barometer inside there. Flip it right side up. And then just put as many batteries as we can put inside as well. That looks good. Okay, and now let's put some on top, like that. Okay, now we just need the solar panels, which we can put on the probe body itself. Where are those over here? Luckily, you don't need to worry about parachutes or heat shields or anything like that, since this is basically going on a one-way trip. Would that be under structural? No, it'd be under utility. I know we have heat shields. I used, not heat shields, solar panels. We used them last time. Those radiator panels. Storage container. Oh, here we go. So let's just put a few here, make it four-way symmetry, and that should be good. Now I need to build a rocket that can actually launch this into space, and I'll see you back when I have that all built. Okay, we are here on the launch pad, and the very first thing we can do is get into the service bay and look at the barometer, which is over here. And let's go ahead and log the pressure data. Mission Control checks the readings against the local weather report to calibrate the barometer. I'm going to go ahead and transmit that. And with any luck, yep, we can see that the solar panels are recharging. Okay, now we're going ahead and close this up. And then once we're in the air, we can look at it all over again. Actually, I just realized this adapter only has fuel. It doesn't have oxidizer as well, so let's go ahead and take the spacecraft back and fix that so we have an adapter that includes the oxidizer as well. Let's get some more pressure data, keep that data, recover the vessel. Now I'll go edit the spacecraft and see it back on the launch pad. Okay, we're back on the launch pad. I now have a fuel tank with fuel and oxidizer, and this is just an empty adapter up here, so everything fits. I really have no idea how this is going to work, but we're going to find out now. We'll lift it off. That's good. Okay, let's go ahead and throttle down. Holy cow. Go ahead and observe the barometer really quickly. Let's go 100 million pascals. That can't be right. Let's go ahead and transmit that and close this up. Okay, and we really should start turning. Those reaction wheels are definitely going to help out here. Okay. Turn just a little. So far we're doing really good. Wish I could hold a straight line. It's not wanting to at all, which is not good. Hold that. Hold that. Really hold that as well. Okay, and okay, now it's pulling out of that bottom tank, which is perfect. Okay, go just a little further. Those SRBs are going to run out really soon. Whoa, wait, why are they? Oh, never mind. I thought they were phasing through the fins. No, the fins are on them. Okay, that's what it is. There we go. And I'm really struggling to go to the right here. But this is how we do it. Okay. Going to run out. I'm going to guess in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay, throttle up. Ditch those. And we lost our bottom engine. Great. Wait, why isn't this working? Shut down engine. Oh yeah, because all my fuel is off. Now this will probably get into space. I'm going to guess most likely it's going to get into space, but man, losing that bottom engine, I was hoping to get to the moon and to Minmus. I doubt I'll even get into orbit at this point. Oh well. I did my best. Actually, orbit is very possible. Don't know if it's likely, but it's possible. Just try and flatten this out. Yeah, I need to gain about another 1,000 meters per second, and I think I just might have that. For now, let's go ahead and open this up and look at the barometer again. Barometer. There we go. Log pressure data. It reads -3. Huh, that's funny. Oh well, they can figure it out back at KSC. Let's go ahead and transmit that. Man, I love having all these solar panels on. It's really helping out. Oh man. Okay. Now, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and close this back up. Time accelerate out into space and see if we can't get into an orbit. We don't even need an orbit, really. We just need to stay in space long enough to get some good... Actually, you know what? I'm going to see if I can't get out into high Kerbal orbit, or high Kerbal... I'm going to see how high I can go, because if I can get high Kerbal data, then I might be able to get some extra barometer data. We don't care about this thing burning up or whatever. We just care about getting as much data as possible. So let's go out as far as this will let us. Okay, the engine just burnt out. And let's hope 500,000 meters is far enough. Okay, let's see about that barometer again. And now that we're in space, we haven't gotten a near Kerbal space pressure yet. The instrument reads 0. It's as if it were in a vacuum. Okay, let's go ahead and transmit that. Perfect. This little thing here, vessel. Okay, Now let's go out to periaps, or apoaps, sorry. Periaps is the low point, apoaps is the high point. So even though we lost our big engine, which really could have gotten us just about anywhere, maybe even to another planet if we wanted, we still did fine. So now we are high over Kerbin. The instrument reads zeros as if we are in a vacuum. Let's go ahead and transmit that. And all of that data that we have transmitted is going to get us some really nice science. This is just going to go back and crash into the planet. Nothing we can do about that. We don't need to see that, whatever. So let's just go ahead, go back to the Space Center, see how much science we got from all of that. And we're up to 68 science just from clicking on the barometer a few times. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try launching that all over again and see if we can't go to perhaps the moon and Minmus. I'll see you when I figure all that out. Okay, 73,000 by 74,000. That's a pretty good orbit. You can see the first one still falling down to Kerbin there. We have plenty of fuel left as well, so I really do think this will be enough to send us to the moon. So let's go ahead and set that as the target. Flip it so that it's about 90 degrees to the right of us. And add a maneuver. It's too far. What I kind of want to do is send it on an impact course to the moon to guarantee that we'll actually get down far enough to get some good science. But actually, if I can get down to just maybe 9, I'm going to go down to 9 kilometers and get a gravity assist to shoot us back out into interplanetary space, just like what happened last episode, so I can get even more science to transmit back. Okay, 16, that's too far. 8, okay, that's good enough. It'll be about a 21-second burn. We'll see if I have that fuel. I really do think I do, but don't know for sure yet. This thing is really responsive. It's great. Go ahead and quick save. Don't want to lose all this information due to a crash. Okay, let's go ahead and time warp to our appropriate place. We're going to start at about T-minus 11 seconds. Split the burn time evenly between the T-minus 0 mark. Okay, I'm just about ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Look at the G-forces we're pulling out of this. 5 Gs almost just from this one engine. This is really nice, I gotta say. And yet we do in fact have plenty of fuel, so maybe we'll even be able to take this barometer somewhere else in the Kerbin system. We'll have to see. And we're not quite there. Okay. Still have about 11 meters per second. And okay, let's see. I want the moon periaps. This is going to be very tricky, but we'll make it work. Moon periaps, that's 21. That's 21 kilometers up. That might be a little too far. I'm going to go ahead and warp there after I quick save, and then trim it when I'm closer, because it'll just be easier when I'm closer. That's just the way it is. And then I'll be hopefully I'll be able to get some barometer data from high over the moon and low over the moon. And like I said, hopefully that gravitational assist puts me out in interplanetary space again, and I can get even more barometric data, send it back to Kerbin, hopefully unlock something new in the tech tree. The barometer does not give us much data, but it gives us, I think, enough. Okay, so if we were to add a maneuver here and slow ourselves down, that puts us, well, actually, it puts us closer to the moon. How about that? 15, I need it down to about, that's a little too far. I don't want to risk throwing myself into the planet on one of those, or in the moon on one of those mountains. I think about 5 kilometers is good. Make it That's good enough for me. So just 8 meters a second is all the delta V we need to change it. So point ourselves in the right direction and move ourselves down ever so slowly. That's good. Okay, let's put ourselves high over the moon, get some science, transmit it back, then see if we can't get lower over the moon, get some science there too. Okay, go ahead and open up the service bay. Open. And where's the barometer? There you are. Log pressure data. The instrument reads 0. It's as if we were in a vacuum. Transmit that back. Then we need to get low over the moon, so about there. Okay. I saw the camera angle change, so hopefully we're low enough now. If not, we can just go a little further. We are near the moon. Temperature instrument reads 0. It's as if we were in a vacuum. Go ahead and transmit that back. So now we're low over the moon, and you know what? I am going to see what a gravity assist can do to send me somewhere further out. Ah, this is cool. We might be able to get an eventual encounter with Duna. This would be awesome if I can make this work. I didn't try this or anything. Whoop, now we're going back down. Don't know what happened there. I'm going to wait until we're out into interplanetary space before I try that again. We'll see what happens. I got as much as I can there. Can always, you know, get a Kerbal on this to maximize our data, but really, I'm tired of having to re-enter and spend more time sending Kerbals back to Kerbin. I'd rather just send probes out to various places, get as much data as possible out there, and then figure it out later. We're still technically falling towards the moon, but no, we're rising again. Okay, perfect. So now what I'd love to do is actually I'd love to time warp to here if possible. Cannot auto warp so far. Huh. How about here? Can I warp here? Yep. Oh, Kerbin's periapse. What is that? Okay, I got close to Kerbin, but not close enough to fall into the atmosphere. That was my biggest worry, but no, we're fine. Where am I now? Where's Kerbin? Who cares? Okay, so... Oh, we actually are going really low. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and escape Kerbin, get some barometric data out there, then see about maybe setting up that encounter with Duna. We'll have to see if that does happen, but... Okay, when this switches up here... we'll know we're in interplanetary space. It'll go from a K to an M because it'll be using the sun as a reference instead of Kerbin. So, my cat is meowing in the background. I think he thinks that he needs food or something, which is silly because it's only 4 o'clock. Okay, so now switched. That means we are now in interplanetary space. Let's go ahead and get some barometric data from interplanetary space. Read 0, we're in a vacuum. Transmit even more science. And this is... I'm tempted to just build an interplanetary probe to go to the other systems and get some information there, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so if I want to encounter Duna, let's go ahead and set a maneuver at periapse. And send it out, and let's set this as a target, of course. This makes it very difficult to. Okay, okay, we're not quite far enough to get that encounter with Duna just yet. Plus, I think Duna will be in entirely the wrong place, but we'll just have to see. Then, if we add a maneuver here to. Decrease our eccentricity, or our inclination rather, sorry. The thing is, I don't know if we'll have this much delta V available to us, but we'll see what happens. This will eventually get us on, this will get us onto Duna's sphere of influence, and look at that. Now, we have closest approach and farthest approach, so we will eventually hit Duna. It's just a matter of how many years will it take. And another question, will we actually have that much delta V? Well, there's only one way to find out. I'm going to just do as much as I can and see what happens. So, quick save, of course. If we can get to Duna and get one last barometric pressure data from there, send it back to Kerbal. I think that that would be a great way to wrap up this episode. But if it just ends with me stranding this thing in deep space, then I think that's, well, what can you do? Okay, I'm going to time warp to the maneuver. So, warp to next maneuver. Okay, and this will take a few days to get there. And while we wait, let me think about something to talk about. So what I'm doing right now is actually, Dune is the equivalent of Mars in Kerbal Space Program, and the first few missions to Mars, actually, most of them did end in failure. Mars has a very bad habit of being an extremely difficult planet to get to. Only about half of the, actually I think less than half of the Soviet Union spacecraft to Mars actually made it to Mars, and with the United States, we've had a much better ratio, but it's still like, it's only been within the last maybe 20 years out of the 50 that we sent things to Mars that we can reliably say that it will get to Mars. So no one really knows why. It's just like Mars is it's a very difficult planet to get to for some reason. So now we need to warp to the next maneuver, which is on the other side of the sun, and we might be able to see Dune if we look in the right place. Unfortunately, I don't exactly know where that right place is. Now, I could get the enhanced skylight mod if I wanted, but I really don't know. Anyways, I'm guessing it's somewhere around here. I wouldn't know where to look for it, though. It might even be below us or above us. Anyway, it looks like we did in fact have the Delta V, and we have enough fuel left over that I do believe that we'll be able to get to Duna this episode. Let's see. Let me think. The biggest thing in space news right now, I think, is that Juno just reached the Jupiter system last month. It arrived on July 4th. So it's only the second spacecraft in history to orbit Jupiter. The first was Galileo in the 90s. So now we're good. Now we just need to point basically downwards, burn for another 5 seconds, and put ourselves onto... Oh, Dune is way over there already. So basically we'll just... we'll have to see... we might be able to reach Duna next year, and I'll just time accelerate to that point, of course, but anyway. So I really... Juno has a lot of things going against it. It's a solar-powered spacecraft, which has a lot of disadvantages since Jupiter is so far away from the sun. But that's just what they decided to go with because it was cost-efficient, a few other things, yada, yada, yada. Okay, got 1 more meter per second here. Got to burn. That's good enough. Okay, so now, if we add a maneuver at periapse, we can actually see where we will align in the future. And if we do this and try burning a little faster, I think faster, slower, I think faster. Yeah, I think this is right. No, okay, forget that. Here, I'll figure out a maneuver, and then I'll see you when I get it all figured out. And hopefully I'll see you at Duna. Okay, it took me quite a while to get into this position, but with barely any fuel left, maybe enough for 1 small trim maneuver if I so wish, I have my encounter with Duna. And this actually presents an opportunity, because after Duna, as you can see there, I have an encounter with its moon Ike. So the question really is, do I want to smash this thing into Duna and get as much barometric data as possible from Duna, or do I want to also fly by its moon afterwards, get some data there, but then just know that I have a derelict spacecraft in space forever? And, well, really, I don't know. This is a tough one for me to decide on. I'm going to quick save here. See exactly how much fuel I have left. If I have enough to actually get into Duna and just crash onto its surface, then I'll probably do that in all honesty. That's the wrong way. Yeah, see, I actually do have enough to reach the surface of Duna there. So that's what I'm going to do. We're committed. Quick save again. Now we're gonna just warp here so that we're within the influence of Duna, wherever that is. It looks like it's that little orange spot. Actually, no, that was its moon. That's Duna right there. Okay, let's get this data from the barometer and send it back to Kerbal really quick. We're in the vacuum, high over Duna. So this is the first spacecraft in this series to reach another planet. I kind of wish we had brought more science with us, but you know what? I'm okay with this. Man, I really wish that we could have gotten to Ike, but it's in completely the wrong place. Yeah, I mean, we would have to, if we set Ike as our target, we would need to add a maneuver where, hold on, there, this one we would need to come down a little so we're over the orbital plane like that, even lower. But we just don't have that kind of we just don't have that kind of velocity to both slow down and get in the plane of Ike before reaching Duna. Maybe if we did it out here instead. So, I don't know. We're just going to see what happens. Maybe if we just flat out slowed down, see what happened there. Yeah, we would need to... It's not going to happen. We're just going to have to go straight into Duna. So, let's get a little closer, time warp a little bit at a time. Wish it would go faster, but this is the fastest it goes without the infamous Kraken getting us. So it looks like the last thing of this mission is to just plunge into Duna's atmosphere, get as much barometer data as possible, and I'll transmit it back, hopefully. I'll point myself retrograde before we reach there, just to hopefully slow us down enough. Maybe we can get some atmosphere data as well. We already have high over Duna, now we need low space over Duna. Then I don't believe we can actually get any other information inside the atmosphere until we're on a suborbital flight. I just hope that the electric charge holds out because we are now behind Duna here. I still think we're too high for near Duna science though, so we're going to warp in. How about 100,000 meters? That sounds good. Okay, barometer, log temperature data. No, we're still high over. Okay. Let's get to exactly 100,000 then. There we go. Okay. Temperature. Okay. Yeah, that's near Duna. Transmit that. Our electric charge is going to start running down here soon. Now we need to point retrograde, so that as we plunge into the atmosphere, hopefully the engine takes the blunt of the heat. And by the time we're in a suborbital flight... No, we're not going to have any time. We have less than a minute before we impact the surface. And now you can see the atmosphere is really gripping the spacecraft now. Where's that barometer? Where's that barometer? Just have the finger on it the whole... Where is it? I can't find it. It's so hard to see in there. Nothing's overheated yet, amazingly. I can't... Oh, there it is. Log temperature, log pressure. Okay, we're in the upper atmosphere. Collected, recorded. Okay, just transmit it. We don't know how long this is going to last. Overheating is getting very high. Transmit. Yeah, okay, and oh my goodness, things are still going. Oh, still there. No, we're still in the upper atmosphere. Okay, and the surface bay is going to be the next thing that explodes. It'll happen pretty soon, I think. Amazingly, amazingly, that is still in one piece. I don't know how. Log temperature, log pressure data. Oh, flying at Duna, amazingly. Holy cow. That's going to be a lot of science that we can send back. Sending back, and we actually had the electric charge to make it happen. Oh, we survived re-entry. We're over one of the poles. Now, if only this thing could fly, it's not going to. It's just going to go down and crash, really. But if we managed to fly and had a soft landing, the atmosphere is very thin here, but it is enough to register on the instrumentation. If we had enough lift to fly here and make a soft landing, we could, you know, take pressure data from the surface of Duna, but no, we're just going to smash into one of these mountains here at the poles. I wonder if there have been any Mars missions that have landed at the poles. I'd like to say yes, I just don't remember. Yeah, we're just flying at Duna, so this is going to be the last hurrah of this spacecraft. Our first mission to Duna was the first to crash at Duna as well. We got a lot of flight achievements. Most G-forces endured. We endured almost 9 Gs there at the end. That's amazing. So let's go ahead and see how much science we got out of that mission. That amazing mission with just the perfect amount of fuel. Look at that, we're up to 242 science. That's like 200 science just from that one mission with a barometer. That's absolutely amazing. So for those of you who are wondering, this is what the tech tree looks like. We need to get all of this stuff before this series is over here on the right. We're barely about at the halfway mark in the tree, I think. And we have enough science for one of these. Now, what exactly do I want? We can get monopropellant, which would be cool. Sepatrons are actually really good. They would keep our old SRBs from knocking into our engines like what happened at the beginning of this episode. We can get more powerful engines. We can get better fuel tanks. We can get some new... Oh, this is going to be so hard. We can get some aircraft pieces, which I don't really care about. We got an actuator, which lets us grab stuff in orbit, basically. Oh, docking. If I can get docking right now, then... okay, that's parachute, advanced heat shield. If I could get docking right now, then we can start getting some manned interplanetary missions. But no, there is no docking available. Bummer. Okay, we can get better batteries and solar panels. We can get... I don't really care. So we basically narrowed it down to, do I want the monopropellant or do I want... you know what? I want the RCS tanks. This should help out a lot. Plus this gives us bigger fuel tanks as well to help us get to other places. Let's go ahead and research this. And man, that was a very good mission considering the only instrumentation we brought with us was a barometer. I hope you come back next week. We should be able to do some pretty amazing things, I think. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.